I'd like to welcome everybody today to the 26th National Veteran Golden Age Games closing ceremony. I hope you all had a wonderful and memorable time at the Games this week. If I haven't had a chance to meet you, I'm Rima Nelson, and I have the distinct honor of serving as the director of the VA St. Louis Healthcare System, your host for the 2012 National Golden Age Games. Thank you. I want to thank all of the members of our local organizing committee for all that you've done to make this week a success. I am very proud of our veteran team for all their work planning this event throughout the year, especially those who spent countless hours dedicated to these games and our veterans, in addition to their daily duties. Many of you may not know that 1 month before the Games, St. Louis experienced severe weather, resulting in a flood at the warehouse that stored a lot of the equipment for these games. The team had to clean and reassess the condition of all the equipment and move it to a new location. They said a flood, but it was borderlining a tornado. They worked well and above all of our expectations, so I'm very grateful for our team for doing that. Would all the members of our local organizing committee please stand so we can express our appreciation for your exceptional efforts. Please stand. And to the local organizing committee, on behalf of the veterans that I met throughout the week who expressed to me their appreciation for all of you and all the work that you've done this week to make sure that everything went smoothly. You addressed the things that came up right away, and our veterans really appreciated that. So I wanted to convey their thank you to the local organizing committee as well. So thank you. It gives me great pleasure now to introduce our Master of Ceremony for this evening, Mr. Ozzie Smith. After attending college, Ozzie Smith was drafted by the San Diego Padres. He played Major League Baseball for 18 years, most notably as the shortstop for the St. Louis Cardinals. He is widely believed to be the best defensive shortstop of all time. And was elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame in his first year of eligibility in 2002. He's also the father of 2005 American Idol Top 10 finalist Nico Smith. Please welcome St. Louis' favorite baseball son, Ozzie the Wizard Smith.
Good evening. Breaking things here. How's everybody? Did you guys have a good week? Good. It is truly my honor to serve as your MC for the closing ceremonies of the 26th National Veteran Golden Age Games. It is now my pleasure to welcome Rima Nelson, Director of the VA St. Louis Healthcare System and host of this year's Games, back to the podium. She and her staff have been working very hard to make sure that we all have a wonderful experience this week. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Rima Nelson.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. This week reminds me again about what these games are all about. It's not just about cycling, it's not just about bowling, it's not just about dominoes, but it's about the friendships that are created while you're here. It's about the camaraderie. It's about meeting old friends again, making new ones. It's about establishing relationships that we didn't have prior to this game. That's what it's really about. And as I walked around this week and talked to many of you, I heard many stories that were very emotional, very tear-jerkers, and I'd like to share a couple of them with you today, because that's really what the spirit of this game, these games, are all about. You know, we had 3 young volunteers manning one of our information booths, and I had a chance to speak to them, and they told me some things that really made me realize what a great program this is. I met Jennifer, I met Ursa, and I met Shayla. Their fathers were either serving in the military right now, or their parents were employees here at the VA St. Louis healthcare system. So they were signed up as volunteers. And one of them said, you know, we worked with a gentleman named Bernie out at the JB. And Bernie, I know you're somewhere here with us today. But Bernie told them the story about serving at the Battle of the Bulge. And they knew about that story. So one day this week when they were covering the booth, they met Wayne. And Wayne, I know you're here too. And Wayne said, you know, I served in the Battle of the Bulge, and it'd be so nice if I could meet somebody here this week that served there too. And they said, guess what? We know somebody, and we're gonna introduce you to Bernie. So they did. And this week, all 5 of them went to lunch. And Bernie and Wayne hooked up, and Bernie took Wayne on a tour of the Jefferson Barracks Cemetery here. And they shared great stories about their experiences, but now they're gonna be in touch with each other. But that experience really changed Jennifer, Ursa, and Shayla's outlook. They told me that they're gonna start and continue actually volunteering with the VA. It brought tears to their eyes as they listened to your stories about how grateful you were to serve and how thankful you were that we put these games on, when in fact, we are thankful to all of you for serving. So thank you for your service. And I also want to share with you what Frances Landon shared with me this afternoon. She was competing in the 25-meter swim competition today, and she said, you know, these are my first games. I was in lane number 2, and I started the race, and halfway through it, I ran out of breath, and I was really struggling, but you know what? I was gonna finish. And she said that was all she thought about. And before she knew it, somebody came up alongside of her, which turns out to be Lester Kushner, and Lester was in lane number 1. When he saw what was happening, he took himself out of the race, went into lane number 2, and helped Frances finish. And Frances won a gold medal. I wanted to share that with you. I have many stories and I've heard from many of you, but that is really what this is about. And I thank you, our veterans, our athletes, your family, the staff that came here with you, for participating, for the courage to enter, to get involved, and to stay involved, because you inspire us, and I really thank you for that. So as we end this week, again, you've not only inspired us, but we look forward to seeing you participate in future games. And again, on behalf of the St. Louis staff, thank you for coming to St. Louis. Thank you very much.
Three organizations co-sponsor this event every year. They are the Department of Veteran Affairs, Help Hospitalized Veterans, and the Veterans Canteen Service. At this time, representatives of these organizations will make their remarks. Marilyn Iverson, Director of the Veterans Canteen Service, was appointed Chief Executive Officer of VCS in January of 2007. In that position, she maintains operational direction and leadership of more than 3,000 VCS associates, serving 172 canteen locations in VA medical centers across the United States. With more than 36 years of federal service, she retired as the Chief Operating Officer for the Army and Air Force Exchange Service, headquartered in Dallas in October of 2006. During her tenure, she led the Military Exchange Service, serving more than 12 million military customers in Europe, the Pacific, and throughout the United States. Her leadership philosophy is to maintain absolute integrity, know your stuff, declare your vision, show uncommon commitment, expect positive results, take care of your people, and stand out in front. Please welcome Ms. Marilyn Iverson.
Good evening, everyone. It's really a pleasure to be here with you this evening. I mean, it really is my honor, and I want to congratulate all of you on a wonderful week. What an awesome week it was watching you compete, watching you rise to the challenge of all of these games. You show such enduring spirit and commitment. The thrill of the game is not always in the winning, but in the will to win, isn't it? The qualities that you demonstrated this week, I believe, reflect the qualities of your unique American spirit, the spirit that the world has come to know about America. Our great nation would not be what it is today without your sacrifices. We can never forget the sacrifices that you've made for this country, whether you fought in Europe, or Korea, or Vietnam, or Iraq, or Afghanistan, or served your country in other capacities. You reached far and deep within your grasp, within yourselves, the personal courage to persevere, serve, and survive. Regardless of the difficulties that you faced in your jobs, in your military career, or in the games here this week, you faced them head on and you endured, both then and now. Through your perseverance, you gained strength, confidence, and friendships. By participating in these games, you've displayed the same spirit of courage, perseverance, and commitment with which you, as days gone by, so willingly defended our country and defended our nation's freedom. You, everyone in this room, more than anyone else, do not beg the question, what is the price of freedom? The price of freedom is clearly visible here, because freedom is not free. The VCS is proud to continue to commit to sponsoring the event, but what we give as an organization really pales compared to the support, compared to what you have done in your lives for our country. The triumph of the American spirit, the soul of the Constitution, and the definition of what makes this country the greatest country in the world is what you have done. God bless America. It is a spirit born in adversity, tested by challenge, and driven by unfailing optimism. It is a spirit that thrives in its quest for achievement, and you gathered here are its keepers. I'd like to leave you with the words of President Abraham Lincoln, who said, "Any nation that does not honor its heroes will not long endure." So, ladies and gentlemen of the 2012 Golden Age Games, I salute you. Thank you.
Thank you, Marilyn. Our next speaker is Ms. Marcy Clark. Ms. Clark is responsible for HHV's National Craft Care Specialist Program and oversees the implements and implements this therapeutic and rehabilitative program within some 60 VA medical centers, state-assisted veteran nursing homes, and military hospitals. Ms. Clark is a retired VA certified recreational therapist who has directly cared for veterans for more than 30 plus years and has continued to serve the veteran community through the HHV's programs for the past 11 years. Her dedication and appreciation to veterans goes back to when she was a Marines brat that grew up within a career Marines family. She is structured and dedicated to the HHV organization, its mission, and most importantly, to the veteran patients it serves. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ms. Marcy Clark.
I started at 2, I want y'all to know, just in case you were wondering all those years. Good evening. I know you saw Mike Lynch earlier in the week, all week as a matter of fact, and Mike had to leave, so he wanted me to be here for the closing ceremonies. I actually reside on the Kansas City, Missouri side, so I'm just curious, did everybody enjoy Missouri and St. Louis this week? On behalf of our board of directors and the HHV staff, we are based out of Winchester, California, and as you know, that's where the basic operations, the craft kits, all the activity pretty much prevails. However, we do have craft care specialists nationwide. Some of them you have in your medical centers. I've talked to quite a few of you this afternoon, and if you have not participated and utilized our craft kits, I urge you to do so. The American public are so generous to give us the money so that we can provide those kits. We've been doing that for 41 years in our nation, and I'd like for you to enjoy any interest you may have. We have a variety. We have ceramics, wood, jewelry, all kinds of things. So check that out at your medical center, or if you're in a state veterans home, because we're in military installations. We are supplying craft kits to Iraq and Afghanistan, where our troops are. When they come home stateside, a lot of them come back to the VA medical centers and they want to know if they have HHV craft kits. So just wanted to mention that to you. Missouri is the show me state. And I was just wondering if Ms. Nelson and the entire staff, the volunteers, and everyone this week showed you a great time. Let's give them a big hand. And Missouri has a motto that you do have to show us, and you have to prove everything. And anybody that is from around this state knows that to be true. And this afternoon, we had the great honor of handing out medals to many of you. And I do believe in the short time that you were in the state of Missouri, you got the hang of it, because you showed us what the medals look like and what you can win. So you need to give yourselves a big hand. When you go home this evening or tomorrow, don't forget this experience. Tell 10 or 15 people what you experienced, the friendships you made. I hope you didn't make any enemies. You might have had a little tension this week sometimes, but you always have friendships after you're at a function like this. But tell people what you experienced. Make sure and let them know that you participated in one of the National Veterans programs and that you did it between the Mississippi and the Missouri River. My husband let me know that the Missouri meanders and it isn't just straight Mississippi and Missouri, and I just want you guys to know that you participated between the Mississippi and the Missouri. God bless you, God bless America, and thank you so much for your participation.
Thank you, Ms. Clark. Rima introduced me as one of St. Louis' favorite sons. Tonight, we are honored to have someone who is not just one of St. Louis' favorite sons, but one of America's favorite sons. In 1979, just 15 days into his tour of duty with the U.S. Marine Corps, at the American Embassy in Tehran, Iran, Rodney "Rocky" Sickman became a player of one of the most terrifying events in U.S. history. On November 4th, 1979, after months of turmoil marked by the return of the exiled Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini, the American Embassy in Tehran was overran by militants and its employees taken captive. Sergeant Rocky Sickman, then just 21, was one of the 65 Americans taken hostage. Sickman remained a hostage for 444 days before being released on January 21st, 1981, following 14 months of diplomacy by President Jimmy Carter. 3 months later, Sickman retired after 6 years in the U.S. Marine Corps and entered the private sector, where his military experience has made him a valuable contributor for Anheuser-Busch for nearly 26 years. Sickman helped coordinate the Here's to the Heroes tour, which salutes men and women of the armed forces by allowing Americans to show their support for the troops via recorded messages filmed at community events, celebrations, and festivals nationwide. Sickman is a great supporter of veterans and of the VA St. Louis healthcare system. Ladies and gentlemen, please, please help me welcome Mr. Rocky Sickman.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You should be applauding yourself. It is an honor. You know, Anheuser-Busch employees, our wholesalers, have been supporting the military for over 150 years. And it is an honor. Something that I never thought I'd have a chance. 444 days. A chance is a lot of you right here. It was 1979, Vietnam. We all know what happened after Vietnam. You came home. There was no welcome home. I sat in that chair tied for 30 days thinking I was going to be the same victim. Left. No one would ever remember. But I am honored to be here tonight because I am able to continue, because I always prayed to the man upstairs, if I ever had another chance, I would make sure that troops, families, I mean, for all of your support, friends, their families that are here tonight, that's huge. I can't even imagine what my parents went through for 444 days. But to be here with all of you as an ambassador, I don't know if you were clapping for me or for the Clydesdales tonight. You know, I know you couldn't get by to see maybe the brewery, but I brought part of the brewery here. My wife wants to be a Clydesdale when she dies and comes back. I told her, I said, you don't want to be the Clydesdale, you want to be the dog, because the dog rides up on, and the horses have to pull everything. So, but those are parts of the opportunity of my job with Anheuser-Busch as the Director of Military Sales, that I get to give back to all of you. You, the American heroes. You're continuing the dream. Because you know what? After those 444 days, a lot of my friends did come back and they closed up. You're here tonight. You did not close up. You continued. Because as I know, I get a little choked up when I talk about, there were 8 fellow comrades that lost their life in the desert trying to come over to rescue us in 1980. You probably remember that. We had no idea. That is something that I want to make sure that I live my life true to them because they gave their life for me. And so that's what I'm trying to do each and every day, as that's why I gotta believe is why you're here. Not only you, but your friends and your family. You know, like I said, tied up for 30 days, being locked in a room for 444 days, outside 7 times out of 444 days, 15 minutes each time. So when you walk outside and you're able to walk free, there's nothing better. than that. Days and nights of physical and mental torture were never unordinary. One of my worst times was when they put us through the mock firing squad. Showing us revolutionary movies, had shown us, they wanted us to basically state derogatory statements about our government. Everything that you see in the movies, folks, it was probably a lot of that, just like that. And after these movies that they had shown us, sure enough, they role play. They came into our room one night, 2 o'clock in the morning, pulled us out. Mind you, you did not leave that room. Even though you knew that once you left the room, you went down 2 doors to the left was the restroom. Once you knocked on a door, you had to knock on the door. If you knocked too loud, they'd tell you you had to wait. Well, if you couldn't wait, you had to use a can. But if you had to go to the restroom, you had to be blindfolded. This specific night, they came into our room, pulled us out, took us out in the hallway. And again, like Ozzy was saying, very young. I mean, young boy from Crockle, Missouri. And I'm thinking, boy, this is it. And rifles were behind our head, and all of a sudden they took us into another room. And in this room, they stripped us nude, and 3 rifles came up. And we turned, I turned, and that's when, obviously, they pulled the bolt back. Obviously, there were no rounds, but it was a psychological torture. Those were things that, you know what, after going through that, there are times in my life, as all of you probably have situations. I specifically remember going through a drive-in of a Taco Bell recently. I ordered my food, I went up, and I looked at the little sign and it said I owed $4.44. A little message that the man upstairs always tells me that, Rocky, you can do anything. Standing in front of you here tonight, you know what? That night when I was stripped nude with 3 rifles to the back of my head, you know, other than a loss of a loved one, is there anything more difficult that's ever going to happen through your life? And I bet a lot of you identify what you've gone through, and you use that each and every day as a stepping stone. You know, I survived, and I continue. And like I said, I know that you're continuing to be here this evening. I know that as you continue to face your challenges, and I know a lot of you face challenges this week about hitting that finish line or getting that last ringer with the horseshoe. You know, you're all wanting to make sure that you win. I have to say that I think you have won. You're here to this day, and you're here with your friends and your family to show them that, you know, you're not dead, you're human, and you're moving forward. And again, like I said before, I like to make sure that I never forget, like this past Memorial Day, those 8 people. I want to make sure that those 8 individuals that died for me know that I'm living my life true. And I know that you probably have friends that you want to make sure that you salute them and you continue to live for their behalf. I salute all the participants for conquering, again, this week's games, and thank the family and friends. Like I said, I can't ever say that enough. In this day and age, as I work for Budweiser and I travel around the country and saluting our military men and women, the families of what they're going through, the number of tours our men and women have gone on, and the children, it's going to be very difficult. But I say thank you to you again. I hope you enjoyed St. Louis, because trust me, for 444 days, I was hoping to have the chance to come back to St. Louis and watch another Cardinal game. And sure enough, 1981, Ozzy and I got on the baseball field together. So here we are, with some 30-some years later, and Ozzy and I are up here on a stage. So Again, thank you for serving our country and for all you do. Tonight when I go home, this bud's for you. God bless America.
Thank you, Rocky, for those kind words, and thank you for your service and ongoing support to fellow veterans. Let's also give Rocky a round of applause for this evening's visit by one of the world-famous Clydesdales. What a great way to kick off the festivities. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to invite Dr. William Patterson, Network Director of the VA Heartland Network, Vision 15, to share remarks with you. As Network Director, Dr. Patterson provides leadership and oversight to a network of 9 healthcare institutions and more than 45 clinics in Kansas, Missouri, Illinois, Arkansas, Kentucky, and Indiana. Vision 15 provides coverage for over 240,000 veterans. Dr. Patterson looks to continue the great progress made by Vision 15 over the past several years and drive even higher performances in the future. Prior to taking on the role of Network Director, Dr. Patterson served in Vision 15, Chief Medical Officer, guiding improvement and growth in the Vision clinical programs. Dr. Patterson earned his medical degree from the University of Oklahoma College of Medicine in 1980. He completed his residency and fellowship in hematology and medical oncology at the University of Missouri at Columbia. Dr. Patterson is board certified and is a fellow of the American College of Physicians. He is a graduate of the VA Healthcare Leadership Institute. He's a veteran of the Army National Guard. Dr. Patterson completed tours in Iraq in 2004 and Afghanistan in 2006. He graduated from the United States Army War College in Carlisle, Pennsylvania with a Master's in Strategic Studies in 2004. He retired from the Army National Guard in 2007. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. William Patterson.
Well, Rocky, you know, in Afghanistan and Iraq, we didn't have any buds over there. So, and now that I'm retired, it's no longer this bud's for you, it's this Bud Light is for you. So, but I want to thank you for your comments. Very, very much appreciated. When I was here last week, I made a few comments about the Army and another service. I don't know how many of you remembered that or were here, but it was meant to sort of stir the competition up. Well, this week, as we get ready to leave and to go home, and I hope that everyone has safe travels going home so that we can all meet again in Buffalo next year. I want to look away from competition and more toward collaboration. So, no booze. I mean, no jeers, not booze. At any rate, what I want to do is extend my thanks to all of you. And I want to thank the competitors because you are what makes this game. You are Americans veterans, and you have honored us in St. Louis with your presence. So thank you, competitors. Go Army. For the coaches, for those of you that have put up with the competitors all week, kept them organized, kept them moving along, your dedication to our teams has been phenomenal. Go Navy. All of us who've deployed have realized one thing. There was a family back home. Sorry. Thank you, family. Thank you, spouses. Thank you, friends and supporters. Go Marines. We couldn't do this without the sponsors, the people who donated money, time, resources, all sorts of things to keep this games this year going, and who will do so next year in Buffalo. Go Coast Guard. Thank you, St. Louis. I mean, come on, what a city. St. Louis has been a wonderful host. I hope many of you have enjoyed things in St. Louis, going out to eat, seeing the sights, but more importantly, just feeling the tremendous hospitality that this city displayed. Go Air Force. And lastly, the last word of thanks needs to go out to America. We have a great country. We have a country that's going to face difficulties, that has faced difficulties, but our country is here, our country is free, our country is strong because of Go Veterans. Thank you for coming to St. Louis. Have a safe trip home. We're not done with the program yet, but we hope to see everybody strong, healthy, and competing next year in Buffalo.
Thank you, Dr. Patterson. At this time, Dr. Patterson will present several prestigious awards. First, let us begin with Maura Campbell, this year's Games Coordinator. Maura will officially receive the Undersecretary for Health's Award for her leading this year's Games at a later time. Tonight, she is receiving an award which reads, "In recognition of your outstanding service to America's veterans as the local site coordinator of the 26th National Veterans Golden Age Games, May 31st through June 5th, 2012. Maura, please accept your award. Next is the Secretary's Award, presented to the management and staff of the VA St. Louis healthcare system. It reads, "In recognition of your outstanding service as the host of the 26th National Veterans Golden Age Games, May 31st through June 5th, 2012. Medical Center Director Rima Nelson will accept this award on behalf of all the employees and volunteers at the St. Louis VA healthcare system. Next is the Secretary's Award to the Veterans Canteen Service, and it reads, "In recognition of your outstanding service and co-sponsor of the 26th National Veterans Golden Age Games, May 31st through June 5th, 2012, Ms. Iverson will accept this award on behalf of the VCS. Dr. Patterson will now present the Secretary's Award to help hospitalized veterans, and it reads, "In recognition of your outstanding service as co-sponsor of the 25th National Veterans Golden Age Games, May 31st through June 5th, 2012. Ms. Clark, please accept this award. On behalf of Help Hospitalized Veterans, Marcy Clark will present two special awards from HHV, one for an exceptional volunteer and another to an outstanding coach of this year's Golden Age Games. This year, there have been approximately 1,600 volunteers helping with everything from transportation and meals to event setup and alternate activities. Without volunteers, this event simply could not take place. Let's thank our hundreds of volunteers with a round of applause. The Help Hospitalized Veterans Award for the Outstanding Volunteer of the 2012 National Veterans Golden Age Game goes to a couple who has supported this event all this week and throughout the past year. I'd like to introduce Linda Smith and John Berry, the 2012 Outstanding Volunteer Award recipients. This is a surprise. Ladies and gentlemen, Linda Smith and John Berry. Congratulations, John and Linda. You know, selecting one coach to recognize was equally as tough. A National Veterans Golden Age Games coach is not only an athletic coach and mentor, but often works as many other things like a travel agent, a lost luggage consultant, a wardrobe expert, an event planner, a motivator, a skilled fundraiser, supporting all aspects of their team's travel to the games. We'd like to ask Tony Lopez from the VA Central California Healthcare System in Fresno, California, to come and accept this award. A good coach is concerned with the technique, style, and training and safety of their athletes. A great coach is also their friend. Tony is the epitome of a great coach. She has been coaching veterans for the Golden Age Games for 23 years. Her positive attitude and commitment to making sure her athletes have the best preparation to go for the gold in competition and in life make her truly outstanding. Congratulations, Tony. It is my pleasure now to announce the 2012 winner of the Veterans Canteen Service Challenge Award presented by Marilyn Iverson. You know, since 2004, the VCS Challenge Award has been given to one of National Veterans Golden Age Games competitor who is a first-time participant and exhibits the qualities of exceptional sportsmanship, strength of character, and clearly demonstrates the overall spirit of these games. This year, there were more than 245 first-time participants, so competition was especially fierce for the VCS Challenge Award this time around. With so many eligible, it's truly an honor to be chosen. I am proud to announce the VCS Challenge Award winner this year is Harold Lee Huey Jr. from the VA Healthcare System in Grand Junction, Colorado. Please come join us. Lee, who hails from Grand Junction, Colorado, said, "Come out one time and you're hooked." Lee wishes he could participate in all the games. He exhibits sportsmanship and encouragement for his team members as well as his opponents. Ladies and gentlemen, Harold Lee Huey Jr. Dwayne Vaughn, Director of the National Veterans Golden Age Games, will now come forward to present the Bill Gibbons Award and the George Ganji Inspiration Award.
This time I'd like to ask Dr. William Patterson to join me at the podium to present two very special awards. The Bill Gibbons Award is presented each year.
I feel better already.
To one local VA employee from the hosting VA Medical Center who has demonstrated an exceptional commitment to the National Veterans Golden Age Games. This is kind of bugging me a little bit. The recipient embodies the qualities of dedication, a strong work ethic, and an unwavering dedication to the veterans who attend the games. The selection is very difficult to make because there are so many dedicated individuals from St. Louis who are deserving of recognition. They have dedicated their time, talents, and energies to make these games the best they can be. This year's Bill Gibbons Award winner is Karen Waite. Karen is known by her friends and co-workers as one that continuously gives and always faces each challenge with a smile. Karen served as co-chair for the meet director. 6 weeks ago, Karen stepped up to help with volunteer recruitment. She talked to everyone and anyone that she could find. Now let me give you an example of what she did. Yesterday at 9 Ball, they were short volunteers, so what does Karen do? She gets her shirts and stuff and sign-up sheets and goes out on the street on Washington Avenue and signs up volunteers to get them into it, so we'd make sure we had enough people to get the 9 Ball done. So that's the kind of dedication. She coordinated over 12,000 hours of volunteer coverage for the games throughout the week. As coverage changes were identified, she reached out again to ensure each event had adequate volunteer coverage. She has been the go-to girl this week. She has a wealth of knowledge that she brings because of her involvement with both the National Veterans Creative Arts Festival and the National Veterans Wheelchair Games. As a clinician, Karen cares deeply about her veterans and encourages all of them to participate in the national sports programs. Every year at the conclusion of the Golden Age Games, one competitor is selected to receive the George Ganji Inspiration Award. That competitor is selected for being the most inspirational person to compete, exhibiting the qualities of fitness, sportsmanship, and competitive skill, and also for serving as an example for other veterans both on and off the field. It is named for a Golden Age Games participant, the late George Ganji, who exhibited all of those very qualities. There are 7 past Ganji recipients here tonight. When your name is called, please come to the front of the stage as we prepare to welcome the newest Ganji recipient into the fold. From 1999, a guy I recruited to come to the Golden Age Games back when I was a therapist in Bonham, Texas, Mr. Houston Brummett. 2006, Mr. Charles Winder from Williamsburg, Virginia. 2007, Frank Renteria from Lemoore, California. 2008, Ira Walton from Waco, Texas. 2009, Robert Blacknick from Rowlett, Texas. 2010, William Trumbley from Norman, Oklahoma. And in 2011, Mr. Sal Bottolato from Long Island, New York. Let's welcome and give them a round of applause for our distinguished Ganji Award recipients. It's good to have each of you here with us this year. You're about to be joined by the newest member of this elite club of George Ganji Award recipients. Please welcome this athlete to the fold when his name is called. The veteran we honor tonight is truly an inspiration to all of us here and has shown veterans, volunteers, staff, special guests, and sponsors at the Golden Age Games is an event where sportsmanship, determination, friendship, and perseverance really do thrive. Ladies and gentlemen, let's all congratulate Wayne Field, our 2012 George Ganji Inspiration Award winner. Wayne, please come up here and join us to accept this award. World War II veteran Wayne Field of Colorado Springs, Colorado, started swimming 31 years ago at the tender age of 55. Today, at 86 years of age, he has won more than 200 medals in 23 appearances at both National Veterans Golden Age Games and the National Veterans Wheelchair Games. Field is an inspiration to his teammates. He sees his physical limitations as just a minimal hurdle. This year, he helped mentor 2 new swimmers on his Eastern Colorado healthcare system team. What better tutor could you have when someone who's been swimming for so many years and is in a power wheelchair? Field, who speeds around the venues in a motorized wheelchair, follows a strict practice regimen, swimming 3 days a week and doing water aerobics on his days off. Whoever I beat, it's probably not because I'm better than him. He says it's because I practice more.
It's truly been a great honor for me to serve as your Master of Ceremonies, and I hope that all of you had a wonderful time here in our wonderful city. God bless you, God bless America, and thank you for coming. At this time, I'd like to ask Ms. Nelson for the closing remarks.
Thank you, Ozzie. We truly appreciate your generosity in joining us at these year's National Veteran Golden Age Games, and we have a small token to present to you to show our thanks.
Thank you.
To our veteran athletes, we have enjoyed having each of you here in our city this week. Before we leave this evening, I just have a few quick reminders to tell you. First of all, you may pick up your medals outside the doors at your left as you exit the hall, and tomorrow morning, as we will have medals available for pickup in the lobby of the Renaissance Hotel as well. So on behalf of the VA St. Louis Healthcare System, we'd like to say it has been our great honor hosting the 26th National Veterans Golden Age Games. This concludes our closing ceremony. Thank you for joining us and helping us make these games a spectacular success. Thank you and good night.